So fall has always felt like a releasing and a renewing, like a releasing of old, shedding of old, and calling in new things. With it being the Jewish New Year, to me, September has just always felt like this time of transition and moving into a new season. And it always stirs things up in me as far as like releasing another layer. And I've been feeling it a lot lately. I've definitely felt this in previous years as well, whether it be releasing a relationship, a dynamic, a role, a story, a habit. This year, I really feel like there are two specific things that I'm definitely feeling releasing. Like I feel like they're already releasing. And it feels like an invitation to shed these things and to open up myself as well as open up my energetic space for growth and expansion of what can come when that limitation or belief or relationship isn't there anymore. I have definitely over the years had to leave behind or let go relationships, friendships that no longer felt right in my soul. And that can be really hard. There's a lot of discomfort in that, rumbling in your belly, feeling the tightness in your chest. That's when I do my energetic and meditation practices to really come back to center and come back to the divine within me that is so much greater and so much larger than any worry or fear or anxiety that I might have. I've also experienced this in moving away from certain titles or labels. I mean, people pleaser, overachiever. There's something about leaving that behind that feels really exciting, but also nerve-wracking in the same time. It's, as Brene Brown, I think, is the one that says it, it's nerve-biting. And the practices that I do have allowed me to feel more of that and to be okay with it and to know this is a feeling and it's not me. I may feel nervous, but I'm not a nervous person. I may feel anxious, but that doesn't make me an anxious person. It's a feeling, it's a moment, it's not a forever. And there was a time when it would have been really hard for me to let anything, anyone go because of that people-pleasing side. And I think about how once I was able to let that fall away like a leaf off a tree, how much growth came from that. It's recognizing that you don't need to cling to those things anymore. Those people or that version of you provided safety at some point, and now you can let them go. And it's kind of like you've outgrown a version of yourself. You have all these different versions of us that move through our life. And while it can feel hard in the moment and like restrictive, it's actually so freeing and like so expansive. So as I mentioned, I have two things that I definitely have been working on releasing recently, and they are causing some of that discomfort. Even when I say them or think about them, there is discomfort, but I'm just creating more ritual, more silence, more breath, and more room to listen to what's coming in rather than focusing on, oh my gosh, this feels really hard. Closing my eyes and getting quiet and breathing and returning to that breath, doing some tapping, tuning in, turning inward and connecting with like, why is it time to let that go and what can come in as a result of that? Because that's really exciting. It's like a fresh start in some ways. So I mentioned, I have them right here because I reference them at different points to make sure that I'm not holding on to these. And the two things really that I'm releasing right now, and I would love to know if this resonates, what you feel like you're shedding in this season of fall and this season of transition, of change. The leaves changing colors, they fall, they're no longer needed in that way. For me, I am releasing pushing harder when things are not happening fast enough, right? According to me, as if I get to control that, which I know I don't. So it's almost like a relinquishing of control. And also, like, I have this need when things aren't moving fast enough. It feels like I need to do more. And I'm learning that sometimes it's not that you need to do more. It's getting quiet, listening for that next clear yes, and leaning into that. And sometimes it means doing less in order for things to speed up. The other one is releasing my need to poll or ask everyone else their opinion, even when I already have the answer I'm looking for inside of me. I could clearly answer the question, but I still have this need to make sure it's right. It's a fear of being wrong, of failing, and of having some sort of humiliation tied to that. And so I'm really working on releasing that piece. And a couple of the things that I have created into like mantras or even just thoughts for myself or things that when I'm tapping, I'll repeat is I'm not broken, I'm shedding. It's different. I'm still me. I'm becoming a new version of me. I can't step into what's next when I'm busy holding on to what's safe. That's a big one. You can't step into the next version of you, evolution, growth, expansion, when you're so tightly clinging to what feels safe. That's our comfort zone, right? And sometimes it takes beating outside of that a little bit. And then also a reminder that this is the messy middle. This is change. This is transition. But it's a becoming, and that we get to release, similar to my RISE method, we get to release. And we also, by the end, are embodying that new level of ourselves. If you're here, you probably know how important growth and expansion of my soul, of myself, are to me. And I know this, you don't have to agree, but I know that the more I choose to release the parts that are no longer helpful or serving me in this growth and expansion, that's when the growth and expansion happens. It's not when I cling tight in fear. It's when I surrender and when I actively let these things go. Because it's one thing to just say you're letting it go, but embodying that. And for me right now, embodying that I don't have to push harder when things aren't happening on my timeline. It's a beautiful thing. So instead, I get quiet and think about how much more can come out of that than that push, hustle, hurried, have to do more to make it happen energy. It's a whole different energy. I've been asking myself also, what am I afraid of letting go of? Because sometimes when we think of what we're going to let go of, the easy things come to mind. This is an invitation for you to think about, what are you afraid of letting go of, and what version of you have you outgrown but not really released? Sometimes we outgrow something, but we still hang on to it. We hang on to it for comfort, for safety and strength and security. I would encourage you to think about, what is it? What version of you have you already outgrown? You know you've outgrown her. but you're holding on and not fully releasing. And the reason I challenge you and invite you to do that is that is where the shit will happen. That is where you will gain confidence. You will grow. You will gain clarity. You will step into that next version of you who is making the moves, who is trusting the process. But when we sit in this safe spot, those things aren't happening because we're not in a high enough energy. We're in an energy down here of shrinking. It's like a smallness as opposed to, hi, this is me. It's a big difference. Just sit with that. You don't have to fix any of the feelings that you feel. Just notice them, allow them, ask them questions like, what are you here to teach me? You know, when your belly tightens, what is this about? If you're feeling this shedding, you feel like you're in this season of change, of expansion, or maybe even of getting quieter, just know that you're not alone. And I want to hear what that looks like for you, what kind of things you feel like you're shedding. I'm sharing this today because I think this is part of my messy middle. This is part of my process. It's something I'm living in right now. And I want to share with you as I learn and grow, and we're on this journey together about teaching you or showing you practice, so much as just sharing from my heart of being in this space, this uncomfortable space, and how I'm choosing to honor the feelings that come up and move through them and not allow them to keep me in this version of myself that's no longer serving me. If this resonates with you, I would love to hear your thoughts. I'd love to hear what you're being called to shed, what you're stepping into. And I would encourage you to trust that feeling and that it's rising up within you for a reason, for a bigger reason than you might ever even know. With that, I'm sending you so much love. You're amazing, and the world needs your light. Go be amazing. And so this wasn't